Alright, so have you ever watched 20 million credits vanish in under 6 seconds? Not because of a Thargoid, not because of a ganker, but because you were too proud to check one number before undocking. And if you're thinking that'll never happen to me, well, my friend, you're already committing the same sins I did. Space isn't forgiving. One bad habit and the black will humble you fast. In this video, I wanted to break down my list of 7 deadly sins in Elite Dangerous. You know, the mistakes that destroy good pilots. And by the end, you'll know exactly which one has been holding you back. So first, let's start with the sin that humbles everyone at least once in their career: pride. Pride is that voice in your head that says, I'll be fine. I don't need the rebuy this time. I don't need to worry about insurance. Check it. You finally buy that dream ship, you got the credits, the paint job, and the confidence to go along with it, but there's no safety net. And all it takes is one bad landing, a missed boost, or an interdiction gone wrong, and it's all over, my friend. Everything you worked for, gone in a flash. I learned this lesson the hard way back when I first got my ass Explorer. I spent what felt like 3 weeks easily grinding credits just to be wiped out in 30 seconds. Not because I was bad at the game, but because I was too proud to log off when my eyes were getting heavy. I was chasing that first footfall, so I kept pushing on. And a few long blinks later, my ship pancaked into the side of a planet, Commander Jameson style. And of course, it wasn't until the rebuy screen popped up that I realized I didn't have the credits to buy my ship back, and I had to start all over. Do not be me. Flying without rebuy is straight up arrogance. You're gambling your progress because you think you're above making mistakes. But on a long enough timeline, everyone slips up. So always check your rebuy before you undock. Every single time. Just make it a muscle memory thing. Sin number 2 is greed. Greed whispers in your ear, you can fit one more mission, just a quick run. They're all low-level targets anyway, and that's how it starts. I learned this one the hard way as well when I was grinding Empire rank. Saw a nicely stacked mission board with all low-tier assassination missions. I thought, easy money, right? Each target was probably going to be harmless, maybe competent at worst. Ships that I could delete in my sleep if I wanted to. So I stacked them, all of them. There had to be close to 20 missions in my transactions tab. The first interdiction was exactly what I expected. A Viper, shields barely holding. It went down 1, 2, 3. Now I'm feeling good, feeling dangerous. Then the second ship drops in, and the third, then the fourth. And suddenly I'm in an instant with what felt like half of the galaxy's most wanted. My power plant was screaming at me. My hull was damn near evaporated at that point. And I'm sitting there frantically trying to store my hard points so that I could wake out like a maniac. And of course, you already know, I did not make it. 20 easy missions that probably could have taken a half hour tops, all gone, along with my rebuy, just because I was being greedy. The thing about greed is that it can hide behind efficiency. It makes you think you're being smart when really you're just gambling with your ship and credits. Take the missions that you can handle and leave the rest for later. Your wallet will thank you when you're not staring at a rebuy screen wondering how it all went. So wrong, so fast. Really quickly, which one of these have you been guilty of so far? Is it pride or is it greed? Let me know down in the comment section. I'm willing to bet most of you have a nice rebuy screen horror story, and damn it, I want to hear it. So let me know down in the comment section. Next up is sloth. Sloth isn't laziness, it's more so neglect. Flying with default module priorities, unassigned fire groups, in a build that's just good enough to get by until your thrusters cut out mid-fight or your power plant overloads when you deploy hardpoints. That's when you realize you never actually learned the ins and outs of your ship. Sloth shows up every time you rely on luck instead of understanding. Power priorities, module groups, pip management, these aren't optionals. They're more like survival tools out there. And it can go deeper than that. Sloth is flying the same trade route for months without checking if there's a better one. It's never bothering to learn flight assist off because, oh, it looks too hard. It's ignoring engineering because the grind is too much. If this sounds like you, spend a few moments in your modules panel, learn what each one does, set up your power priorities, organize your fire groups, hit that flight assist off button and see what happens. Run some tests in a haz-res to see what happens when things start to fail and aren't going your way. You'll never really understand your ship until shit hits the fan. Next up, we have envy. Picture this. You're cruising in your ass Explorer when a fully engineered Mandalay glides past with one of those sick-ass paint jobs. And you think, man, if I had that, I'd finally be set. That's envy. The belief that the next ship will finally complete you. Now, envy is about the ships. There's another sin that we'll talk about in a bit that's more so about chasing activities instead of mastering them. But we'll get to that when we get to that. For now, let's talk about why that Mandalay isn't going to save you. The best pilots in Elite Dangerous don't win because of their ships. They win because they know exactly how to use them to their maximum potential. A master in a Viper will outfly a fool in a Corvette all day, every day. Envy will keep you broke and distracted. You end up chasing unlocks instead of skills. You grind for ships you can't afford to outfit properly. And by the time you finally get that big ship, you don't even know how to fly it right because you never mastered the fundamentals in the ships you had before that. So instead, fall in love with your current ship. Whatever you're flying right now, think of it as a classroom and try to learn as much as you can. Push that baby to its limit. Learn every sound, weakness, and strength of it. The ship doesn't make the pilot any more than the wand makes the magician. It's all about mastery. Sin number 5, wrath. Picture this. You get interdicted, you lost your cargo and your hull's at 40%. Obviously your shields are gone. And you know it with all of your heart that you should probably wake out of there. I mean, you know it, but instead you boost right back in. No shields, no plans, just pure rage. An absolute certainty that this time you're gonna make them pay. 2 minutes later, guess where you're staring at? If you said rebuy screen, then you were right. Wondering how the hell did that FDL shred you so fast? That's wrath. It's the tunnel vision that makes you forget about everything else. The black doesn't care who started it or who was in the right. It's only gonna remember who stayed calm long enough to survive. Next time you take an L, don't chase after it. If you're able to, I wake out, dock, refuel, resupply, and repair, and let your heart rate come back down. Analyze what went wrong, fix your loadouts if you need to, and come back with a plan, not a vendetta. Emotional flying will lose you way more fights than you think. Gluttony tells you every ship needs to be perfect. Grade 5 everything, every experimental, every material farmed. To the point that you'll end up spending weeks to unlock an engineer just to go to grade 5 when G3 or 4 is already good enough. Meanwhile, there are pilots out there like myself with incomplete builds that are out here making billions because they're actually flying instead of tweaking. I used to throw G5 overcharge on every single power plant, and most of them I would monster as well. Seemed logical, right? More power, better ship. But my ship kept overheating after like 2 shots of my rails, and I end up wasting more time cooling down than firing them. Once I switched it out, shout out to you guys too for that one. I was able to stay on target a lot longer and dish out way more DPS and actually finish fights faster because of it. And that's because I fell into the trap of just looking at numbers. Gluttony disguises itself as preparation, but you're not optimizing. You just end up procrastinating. You end up grinding materials instead of flying missions, trying to perfect the ship that never leaves a hangar. Build with purpose. During the build process, ask yourself, is all of this really needed? Does a trader need military armor? Does an explorer need weapons if it's never gonna fight? Not every ship needs to be perfect. Some of them, they just need to work. Alright y'all, if you made it this far, I've got a mini challenge for you. After you're done watching this video, I want you to take your least flown ship out for one last mission. Any mission. It doesn't matter if it's a trade run, a bounty hunt, or just flying out to scan a planet. I guarantee you'll come back either falling back in love with said ship or realize why you parked it in the first place. But either way, you'll learn something, and I'm sure that nostalgia bone will be scratched. But once you're done with that, come back and drop a comment and let me know which ship you ended up picking. I'd love to know what you got collecting dust in your hangar. Lust is never staying long enough to get good at anything. Power play, AX, trading, exploration, mining. You end up sampling a bit of everything and mastering none of it. Picture this. You've got 800 hours logged in, a half-engineered Anaconda sitting in your hangar, a few Guardian modules unlocked, nothing really useful, and you don't even have them equipped anyway. And you got 3 other ships that you started and never finished and probably never will fly again. And then the cherry on top, when someone asks, what do you do in Elite Dangerous? You don't even have an answer. Well, other than I sit in my hangar and min-max imaginary numbers. That's lust. All that time invested and nothing to show for it, but a hangar full of half-baked ideas and a resume full of activities that you only dipped your toe into. And that's where you end up with hundreds, even thousands of hours logged, but no identity as a pilot. You kind of done it all without actually doing it all. If there's one thing I'll say about Elite, it rewards commitment. Sample the different gameplay loops, sure, but eventually you kind of need to stick with something long enough to understand the depths of it and to make a couple of credits. The best explorers committed to the black and just went out there. Some of them are still out there and haven't been back. The best combat pilots stayed in the fight long enough to master every sound, every inch of their ship. Find your thing. Maybe it's bounty hunting, exploration, trading, whatever clicks for you. Stick with it until you're dangerous at it. Like real life dangerous, not like in-game dangerous. And then branch out, because lust will spread you thin. And in Elite, thin's not gonna last long, my friend. That Asp Explorer that I lost, I could have avoided it by doing one thing differently. Just one. But I didn't, because I thought I was above it. And that's the real sin in it all. It's not pride or greed or any of these 7 by themselves. It's thinking that you're the exception and that the black will make an exception for you. It won't. Every commander in Elite Dangerous will face these sins. Most of us are guilty of at least 3 of them right now. The question isn't if you'll slip up, it's whether you'll recognize it before it costs you everything. So here's some homework that I leave you with. Pick one sin from this video, just one, the one that it's a little too close to home, and fix it in your next couple of sessions. Not all 7, just one. Prove you're smarter than I was, because the black does not hand out second chances. But smart and prepared pilots shouldn't need them anyway. Till we meet out in the black, midnight out. 07 commanders.